Hi guys, this is Tablet-News.com and I'm here with a tablet called E-Boda Supreme X80 dual core. This one is an 8-inch tablet with an affordable price tag of only $200. It appears that 8-inch tablets are a trend now since Samsung is making one. We've shown you an all-view 8-inch tablet, and now this E-Boda model, once again from Romania, like the all-view brand, and priced at a very affordable $200. So let's get to it, let's check out the design. It reminds me of sort of a smaller iPad, especially with this covered area right here with plastic. The main case is all aluminum, so it's metal, it's strong, it's resilient, but we have a special connectivity area right here of plastic in order to make the wireless work fine. At the back we have these two stereo speakers, one here, the E-Boda branding here, 2 megapixel camera, some bolts around the device, as you can see, some screws. They're not pretty aesthetic since they're left like that, but for $200, what more can you want? On a single side here we have all the main ports and slots that matter. So we have a reset button, we have a micro USB port here, HDMI, micro SD, a microphone hole and home button. On the opposite side we can find the audio jack right here, and next to it there's the on-off button with a weird placement if you ask me. Here we have the front VGA camera, and the bezels are pretty big for this model, but at least it feels like a solid tablet with an aluminum case. You should also know that the micro USB port is used for charging up the device. There is no special charger. As you can see, there are no volume buttons whatsoever, so we have to rely on these here virtual volume buttons to increase or decrease the volume on the slate. So basically that's about everything you need to know about the design of the tablet. 9mm in thickness, it weighs 430 grams, and considering the iPad mini, almost 80 inches as well in diagonal, weighs 308 grams. This tablet is almost 130 grams heavier than the iPad mini, so it's quite heavy. Okay guys, now it's time to get to the hardware area. Inside this tablet there's an ARM Logic dual core CPU. It's a 1.5 GHz processor with a Mali quad core GPU, and this tablet runs Android 4.0.3, although I would have liked Android 4.0.4 on board. We also get 1 GB of RAM, DDR3 on it, and other specifications include 8 GB of storage on the tablet, as well as micro SD with support for up to 32 GB extra storage. The display you can see right here is an 8-incher, and the resolution is 1024 over 768 pixels. There's also a G sensor on board, and this multi-touch screen supports 5-point multi-touch. At the back we have a 2 megapixel camera, up front a VGA camera. There are headphones bundled with the device, cheap ones, plasticky. We also got Wi-Fi, Android ice cream sandwich on the slate, and the battery inside is a 4400 mAh unit, good enough for about 3-4 hours of use, maybe even 5. When we watched an hour of YouTube video and played 30 minutes of an Android game, it took away 60% of the battery, so go figure. 1 hour and 38 minutes takes 60% with Wi-Fi on, maximum brightness. So you probably get about, let's say, 3 hours if you really use it, and about 4 hours if you're light on the usage pattern. Now I'm going to show you the multimedia test of the tablet. For that I'm going to access our MX player and play back a song. So we have a collection of previews from a dubstep artist. He's called Blackmail, and this is a preview of his album. Let's turn up the volume. And let's skip to another song. The speakers are right here. Stereo speakers, good volume. Let's pause it and draw the conclusion. So, good volume, good bass, good clarity, and there's a nice voice output when you listen to songs that actually have voice in them. The volume could be a bit louder if you ask me. And now it's time to test the video playback. And now for the video playback, I'm going to play a trailer of a movie called Megamind. It's an animation, and as you can see, there are fingerprints all over the screen. It's a fingerprint magnet, sadly, and it's also pretty glossy. So this is the trailer.
With parents who couldn't wait to get me out of the house. You are destined for greatness. That was a lot of expectation to place on an 8-day-old. Turns out another family in the Glaupunk quadrant had a very similar idea.
And let's skip ahead in the trailer. As you can see, the colors are very vivid, but the viewing angles are not that good. Okay, so that was the video playback, and now the conclusions. The viewing angles are pretty bad, the colors are pretty good, the brightness, I would call it decent, but the all-view tablets we've shown you here were actually better. And now to test the camera, let's see what this 2 megapixel sensor on the tablet can do. So here we are. By the way, we have installed the ADW launcher, in case you're wondering. This is not the standard interface of the tablet, since that one is pretty horrible if you ask me. So the camera is right here, and we're going to take a picture of this globe right here. Don't expect too much from it. And now let's play with some effects. As you can see, it has a lot of lag. It's barely a 2 megapixel camera. So we've got white balance here, we've got exposure values, we got anti-banding and storing location. We can also take video capture. Once again, the level is pretty lousy. White balance, time-lapse interval, storing location, and even the option to create a panorama. The 2 megapixel camera is neglectable at best. That's the best I can say about this camera, but after all, we're dealing with a $200 tablet. With or without camera is the same thing. So it's time to test the synthetic performance of the tablet using some benchmarks. And for the benchmarks, I'm going to access the screenshot area. And just so you know, I decided to compare this 8-inch tablet, the E-Boda X80, with the all-view Quasar and the Nexus 7. One of them is a 7-inch tablet, you know which, and the Quasar is an 8-inch tablet like this one. We get actually pretty good scores here, 4,818 points in quadrant, while the all-view Quasar scored 2,600 points and the Nexus 7 3,600 points. So we surpassed both. In Antutu, once again, a very good result, 11,887 points, surpassing the all-view Quasar that only scored 5,800, and the Nexus 7 with 10,950. Next up, here's Nanomark, in which we scored 49.1 frames per second. We have a very good GPU apparently. We surpassed the all-view Quasar that had 15.7 frames per second, and we also surpassed actually, excuse me, we didn't surpass the Nexus 7 that had 55 frames per second, but we were pretty close with 49 frames per second, and that quad-core Mali GPU really paid off. Next up is the benchmark called Velamo. Here we scored a bit less, 893 points, the all-view tablet scored 1000, and the Nexus 7 1700, so we got beat here. Finally, in BrowserMark, once again, lousy score, 900 points, the all-view scored 1440. However, in SunSpider we did decently, 1740 points compared to the 2100 points of the all-view tablet, which, by the way, smaller is better in this benchmark. Okay, so you should probably know, just for common knowledge, that the Nexus 7 is also $200 like this tablet, and the all-view Quasar is a bit more, is about, I don't know, let's say $300, so you get the bang for the buck with this tablet. At least the benchmarks show that. The screen, not quite so convincing. And now moving on with the software area of the tablet. let me show you the settings area and the fact that we run Android 4.0.3. I have to complain about the tablet for some aspect, or better said, two aspects. It has problem with random resets and the on-off button has a bit of lag, so let me show that to you. When you're in standby mode, like this, sometimes the tablet just will not start, so I'm pressing the on-off button now. Quite a bit of lag, and once again, lag, and every once in a while it remains stuck for about 3 or 4 seconds, which is huge for any tablet out there. So even the fact that we're running Android 4.0.3 is a bit of a letdown, since I was expecting at least Android 4.0.4 on this tablet, let alone Jelly Bean. Okay, so obviously you got the usual multitasking experience like this. And once again, we're using a custom launcher, ADW. We got the settings area right here. That also seems to include a special setting for the CPU mode setting that you can set to either normal or power saving on this 8-inch tablet. Other stuff worth mentioning is the fact that you can access the Play Store. Obviously, there are some cheap tablets from Asia that don't support the Play Store. And by the way, we also have a secondary store on this tablet. I'll show you in a minute now. And now it's time to do some web browsing. Apparently the folks who sell the tablet, the E-Boda tablet, decided to bundle Opera Mobile with it. So let's play with Opera Mobile and load up Tablet-News.com. By the way, virtual keyboard right here, looks pretty comfy. And let's access Tablet News from Opera. I think that this is the first time that I've actually accessed our site from the Opera browser, Opera Mobile. And here we go. It should load fast. Let's see if it loads all the elements and everything is displayed fine. Takes quite a while to load. And here we are. At least it has loaded entirely without any artifacts or problems. Let's see some pinch to zoom. Just a bit laggy, but not very bothersome. At least the scrolling is nice, and let's try to view it in portrait as well, aside from landscape. So a pretty decent browsing experience in Opera Mobile. If you're sick of the standard browser, you can try this one. Okay, so I promised to show you that mobile market, so here it is. It's called One Mobile Market, and it's a total ripoff of the Play Store, but you can get some unique apps from it. There are also some games. Let's see if we try to download an app, what happens. So I press download and the download is starting. So pretty much works the same as the Play Store, but it's an alternative with some different applications. I bet that some of them are links to the Play Store, simply that. Aside from that, there's the usual array of applications like Google Maps. Be careful, because this one and Gmail and YouTube I had to download from the web, so they're not bundled with the tablet. You have to do some downloading. And also the latest version of Gmail for some reason just will not work. So force close. This happens from time to time with the latest version of the Google Maps, Google Apps. And you can also socialize. So let's use Facebook for that on this 8-inch tablet. So this is what Facebook looks like on this 8-inch slate. Lots of crazy people on Facebook. And I saw an iPhone here, pretty cute iPhone. People posting stuff, cats, shoes and iPhones. That's what Facebook has come to. And some people are posting food. Okay, you can also have fun with Twitter. This one is more safe for work, so to say. This is the timeline with people posting stuff. Intuitive interface, this is the mention area, and that's about it when it comes to socializing. Obviously there's Google Plus as well, if you fancy that. And finally you can also do some e-reading on the tablet. You can use an app called Aldico, find it in the Play Store, download books, read them, just like we're reading White Fang right now. A bit of a lag when skipping from one page to the other, but I guess that will have to do for a $200 tablet. Here are some of the options, like this one that changes the background depending if you read on during the night or during the day. Some options for the font and margins and brightness and orientation. Up here you can also place a bookmark, search for stuff, and let's see, you can skip to the table of contents. And this is it when it comes to the e-reading part of this tablet, the E-Boda X80 dual core 8-inch tablet, dual core CPU, and $200 price tag. Okay guys, time for the pros and cons for this tablet. The first pros that come to mind are definitely these two speakers at the back. Pretty good volume, decent clarity, and decent bass. Then there's the price tag, $200. Then there's the presence of the HDMI port right here. We saw other tablets with cool features, low prices, but no HDMI. The solid design is also a pro factor, and a very good benchmarks are once again good arguments for buying the tablet. And now on the con side we have a bit of complaints, like the fact I just pressed the on-off button and the tablet wouldn't start, those random resets I talked about, the viewing angles that are a bit of a bummer, and the battery could have been better, the slight lag is a bummer, the Android 4.0.3 is a letdown, and the fact that we don't have physical volume buttons can be a turn off for many users. Okay, so for the design we give it an 8 out of 10, for hardware 7.7 out of 10, and for operating system and user interface we give it a 7. Total grade 7.56 out of 10 for the E-Boda X80 Romanian tablet, $200, 8-inch diagonal. This is Tablet-News.com. Bye bye.